Hello, this is a tutorial. Welcome to my channel. My name's Joe, and if you like what you're seeing here in this tutorial, once you actually watch it, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can tell me what I should cover next. So today we're going to be talking about percussion maps, specifically using tap-space percussion's virtual drumline within Finale, which isn't always the easiest thing, and most people end up going with a template because they'd rather just put it aside. But today, using the virtual drumline manual, we're gonna kind of figure it out. I promise it's not too hard. And once you've set up the bare bones of it, it's pretty much set up for good until you change Finales, which there is some other stuff you can do for that, but it's a lot of work, and we're not gonna worry about it today. So without any further ado, let's jump into Finale here. Okay, so as you can see, me pressing the shortcut keys on my computer for something else accidentally decided it was going to create some rests here. Although it's kind of slow. So I hope that's not the theme for today. There we go. So first, what we've got to do is go to Window here, and we're going to go to our Score Manager. And you can see I'm working in a document that I've already got quite a few instruments in. So I made a new staff here. Right now, it's set just to the Garrison instruments, which are okay, but we're going to make them better by using the Contact 5 player, which comes with your virtual drumline download. Or did it? You need it for virtual drumline. So if you don't have it, you probably should download it. So now I'm going to go to Edit Player. And as you can see, I've got quite a bit of stuff in here already, but there's some room. So today we're going to focus on the concert band combination instrument because it's got a lot of different stuff in it, and it's a pretty good example of what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and double click this here, and now I've got it right here on MIDI channel 6. Great. So now I'm going to exit out of here, and looks like MIDI channel 6. To get to where we're going, you're going to need to go to the notation style and hit settings. And you'll see these are percussion layouts. Now, layout's not the same thing as percussion map. So we'll get to that in a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and just create a new one and call it Concert Band Combo. Cool. So then, as you can see, it's got nothing. But it's going to need a MIDI percussion map, and that's what we're talking about today. So I'm going to hit New. I'm going to go ahead and just select Tap Space, and then I'm going to hit New Map. And again, I'm going to just call it Concert Band Combo. And this is where we're going to pause. So if you haven't downloaded or looked at the user manual yet, the thing that I hope appeared on the screen, because I just realized that it might not have. This is where you'll actually figure out what MIDI note belongs to each instrument. So each MIDI note has a number. They're talking about it right here. And so if we take a quick look here, we can see this is a typical page in the notebook here. As you can see, I circled middle C, and there's a reason for that, because every single map has a middle C, and this is notated as MIDI number 60 in Finale. So no matter what, every time that you see that, that is where we're going. So if that's 60, which I know it's kind of small, but that's in snare drum, and that's a snare hit, and it's an auto right left, then the D flat or C sharp above it is going to be the next MIDI sound, which would be 61. And then the next key above that would be 62, and then 63, and then 64, and then 65. And it basically just goes right up and down, the number here. So let's jump back into Finale. And So I'm going to go ahead and select a note type to add. So we're going to go ahead and start with the snare drums that I've already set up. So here we're going to go to snare drum. And the first thing I wanted was number 60, the snare drum hits, auto right left. So that's just the one that I've chosen. Now we're going to add the note type. And you can see that my shortcut key choice was terrible because it keeps just typing here. Now this, like we said, is MIDI note 60. Oops. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to do something different here. MIDI note 60. Whew. Okay. Now I'm going to just jump up here, because once we've added it, we have added it. So number 61 is hits with the snares off. So I'm going to look at snare drum, snare roll, snare off, snare roll, snare off, snare drum, snares off. There we go. Now we're going to add that note type, and that is number 61. There we go. I just have to use a different set of numbers. Our next one is the rolls. Right there. 62. And so on until we eventually get all of the sounds we want. And I say that because really, if there's sounds in here that you know you're never going to use, you could just save some time and not put them in. However, with the maps, these are usable from any Finale file that you use. So it's probably better to get the entire set of sounds in, and then I'll show you in the layout designer how we can then pick and choose. So I'm going to pick one that Finale does not have a preset for. So let's go ahead and use, it's a tam-tam sound, so it's going to be in cymbals, which we've got a lot of sounds, right? There's the triangle beater one, there's sticks, there's dampens, there's a long scrape and a short scrape, but what about the medium scrape? Well, we don't have that in tap space. Let's see. Crescendo, muted crescendo. Dampened hit. I'm going to say our muted crescendo is not the same as our soft crescendo. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to custom. And I'm going to create a custom sound. So I'm going to hit custom. I'm going to hit add note type. And the one I'm going to use is, ooh, even better. Let's actually use the fifth knee tambourine sound. So I'm going to say that is MIDI note 103. And we're going to just type the title in. So you have to type the title after you hit add note type. And we're going to say this is tambourine fifth / knee. I know I said I was going to do tam tam, and then I realized that I screwed up. So I'm going to hit OK. I said I'm going to hit OK. Ooh, there we go. Probably just because I have 7 programs running in order to record this, and I'm using a laptop. So now we have our percussion layout. This is actually what we will use to put them into the file. So if you imagine the MIDI map as something that can be used all the time and then for various layouts, and then these are more custom to whatever scores you're working in. You can still use them between different files, but say if you're writing and you only want to see certain instruments when you're going to input them, then you'd want to probably do a different layout here. So I'm going to say add all, because it'll add in every single note from the map, because I only entered in 4. Now, if I had every single one of these and it goes from number 16 to 107, I'm going to say probably not at all. And I would just go here, and then it only shows the ones that are actually in the map. Now, here's the long process of this, is that we have to do what staff position is. Now, middle C here is 0, and it just goes up in order, line space, line space. So for example, for our snare drum stuff, that's all on line 7, right? So we're going to go ahead and hit 7 for all of these. And then tambourine, I feel like putting it on the A line, or the A space, so I'm going to go 5. And you can see a little preview right here of where all of them are. Now, the snare drum, snare roll, snares off. If you want to change the note heads, this is a great time to do it. There's a select option here. That's an easy way. The only one I ever have memorized is the X, because that is an X and a capital X. Easy. So now I'm going to hit OK. And you can see my new percussion layout is right there. I'm going to hit select. Now, if I had any notes already in there and they are not part of that, they will become just like a note in the middle of nowhere, and they'll probably show way below the staff or way above the staff in finale. So now that I have this percussion map set up, I'm going to go ahead and leave the score manager, and you can see how I've got these ones set up right now. But when you highlight above and below here, you can see that it's going to show me what instrument I'm about to do. You can also use the plus and minus. Oof. Once you already have a note, I accidentally messed up and started clicking it when I didn't have a note. So if I hit C, it's going to give me a snare drum. And then if I sharp flat, sometimes it likes to give me one. There we go. If I sharp flat while it's highlighted, I can actually move around the percussion map. So this is really useful if you're writing for an instrument that has 7 different sounds all on the same line, like snare drum. So you can scroll through pretty quickly. If you also have the sharp sign set up, that can help you and stuff like that. So now that I have my snare drum, if I go back on, if I go here and then I hit C again, it'll actually just choose the same sound that I already had. So if I hit up now, all of these will be snare rolls. And that's pretty much it. If I go into another file now, I should be able to go to Window and go to those same percussion maps and layouts, and they're all there. You can see if I go to mine right now, there's a bunch right here that I've made already in this file. But let's say I'm going to use one of my maps that I've created recently. So I've got the tambourine, the tam-tam and the bass drum and the metal combo. The metal combo one is one of my favorites. As you can see, I've got every single metal combo one in here. So let me go ahead and cancel this because I just had a thought here. Nope, I do not have a metal combo one in this file. Awesome. So let's do that. So I've got my metal combo. It's got all my MIDI notes in. I'm going to hit add, do I want to add all? No, I don't want to add all this time. So I'm actually going to go down here to this plus sign, kind of in the corner, and that'll give me a new note to work in. Because in this piece, I'm really not worried about having anything except maybe a few instruments. So maybe I'm going to use the tam-tam stuff. So maybe like the tam-tam, which I'm going to set to 6. I'm going to get suspended. Let's use the splash cymbal choke, and we'll set that one to 9 maybe. And then I'm going to use finger cymbals. Yeah, that sounds good. Everything needs finger cymbals. And we're going to set it on 8. So now I've got that new layout, which I didn't name stupidly. And see what's happened to my notes I've already entered is they no longer register. And so I need to break finale. There we go. So now as I move them, I'm getting the notes that I put in, which I'm sure you've been hearing the whole time, but for some reason is not going into my headphones. So that's it. There's a lot more to the virtual drumline stuff. There's all the mod tools. This is my manual. I've got it all nice and done in this book. And I actually have written in all those numbers in the concert band thing. You can't see that because of the light. Nope, it's not going to happen. But in the concert band and cymbal rack combos, I've actually got them all written in because it's just so much easier to actually add them in. You don't have any idea on how many times I was putting these in and it just went, oh, I am a number off for all of these. So in any case, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll try to answer them timely, but you can also find me on social media at JBOBOIGE on Twitter and Instagram. I am also on LinkedIn, though I never check that. And you can visit my website, www.jboborge.com, for some samples of my work. So thank you for joining me and have an awesome day.